call this video a part 2, kind of, to binding and hemming. I use a cover stitch machine, which is a separate machine than a sewing machine for the binding that I do on my shirts and the hems that I do. But I'm gonna show you the options of what you could use on your sewing machine and what those stitches look like being on fabric. Now, like I said in the binding tutorial, that if you're using a sewing machine, you have a couple of different options as far as what stitch to use. I showed you guys what it looks like with the zigzag stitch. Now I'm gonna show you what it looks like with the triple straight stitch or the lightning stitch. This is what that stitch looks like. When I'm using this stitch option, I do like to lengthen it just a little bit. That's just personal preference. Here is the triple straight stitch from the front and the back, and it still allows your fabric to stretch with it. You have the option to use a twin needle. This is what the twin needle option looks like. This is the front and this is the back, and it still allows for stretch. The closest you're gonna be able to replicate the cover stitch stitching is the twin needle. However, if you have a serger, which is another machine, you can get it even closer. Take your serger and you would serge the raw edge, flip it to the wrong side of your fabric, kind of like you're hemming, and then stitch on top of the fabric. And then this is what it looks like with the twin needle from the front with the serged edge from the back. This one also still allows for stretch. Okay, so to recap, I use a cover stitch machine. This is what it looks like from the front. This is what it looks like from the back on the inside. These are what you can do on a sewing machine. Here is the zigzag stitch from the front and the back. You have the triple straight stitch or the lightning stitch. Here it is from the front and the back. You have the twin needle option. This is what it looks like from the front and the back. And then you have the twin needle option with the serged edge. And this is what that option, this is what that option looks like. Now, there are other stitch function options on a sewing machine than just these ones, especially if you have a sewing machine that has a bunch of different options. These ones are just the most common for people who are using a sewing machine to make stretchy garments. Hopefully this video was helpful. If you learned something, I love that. If you have any questions or need me to clarify, let me know. So yeah, and if you guys also are just curious to see what the other stitch options are, let me know that too.